My test puller is this. He and only he will have the option of taking the pull or dropping down 6 positions in the class. Once the class is set, it's run what you brung and hope you brought enough to the tracks of the National Track Pulling Association Championship Trail. So Kenny will be bringing the mining for dollars to life down there. There, we're starting to see some vapor out of the pipe. Coming to life. Kenny had a good weekend up in Brigden a couple weeks ago as he was on a roll and won both days there with the Mining for Dollars Case IH out of Almont. They have a sand and gravel company, Ken Measle Supply. Actually, Ken started out pulling with his father-in-law, Dave Valentine, a few years back on an Alice Chalmers. They jumped into a Smoker International and now have progressed into the alcohol-burning superstock called the Mining for Dollars. So he'll be the test puller out the gate. Scott Doty down at the finish line. Art Sias down at the starting line. Our officials here tonight. They'll be looking things over. Art will be motioning Ken to tighten that chain up once the chain and the kill switch are in place. Tightened up. Craig Storm, the operator of the thumb truck sled to number 8, throws the green light on, signifying he is ready. Track area is clear as the green flags are flying. For Ken Measle, the Mining for Dollars, the test puller out the gate here tonight in this 8,000-pound superstock class. Up next, I do believe that's how you pronounce that name, out of Frankenmuth. Now I understand that this is John's first time ever of driving this superstock tractor. This was Denny Hayford's tractor last year. Denny ran it out on the Grand National level of competition out of Ohio, New Riegel, Ohio, the lethal injection Ford, 8670. 456 cubic inch Ford block is what this tractor was born with. The family out of Frankenmuth bought the tractor over the wintertime, and they're going to campaign it here in the Superstock division from time to time. And this is his first time out the gate on this tractor, the Superstock out of Frankenmuth, Michigan, John Knapp. All right, he's got the green light. Maiden voyage for the fella out of Frankenmuth. The lethal injection Ford. This is one of the smokers, obviously. Starting to build the heat. Boy, I tell you what, a nice hook for his first time down the track area. Did a good job. I would say he's going to be something to be reckoned with before the season is over with. A nice job, the lethal injection Ford, John Knapp, out of Frankenmuth, Michigan. Okay, we'll get the measurement here in just a second on the lethal injection. As Brent Payne, I believe, Dennis Payne family out of Ohio coming up next. There again, I don't have a lot of information. This is a brand new tractor. Brand new tractor. Alcohol burner, 3-charger setup on the John Deere body. We'll have some more information on those folks tomorrow night. Okay, the basement on John Knuth was 288-7. 288-7 for the lethal injection port. That said, brand spanking new. This is the first time they've ever hooked this tractor to a sled. Payne family been around the sport of tractor pulling for quite a while. Dennis the dad. Brett the son doing the driving out here tonight. So they're probably kind of on pins and needles right at the moment. Brand new machine. Don't know if this is a Boltmeyer setup or not. Green light hits the green flag. Chris John Deere out of Ohio. John Deere was cooking, and I bet they learned something right there, because it looked just a tad, and I do mean a bare tad nose heavy, Columbus, Ohio. So what he would do, he'd run down there, pull during the day, feed it back to Coldwater, to the Branch County Fair, pull at night, go home, get a couple hours sleep, do the farm work, jump back in the truck, drive back to Columbus, Ohio to pull again, back to Branch County Fair, back home to do more farm work, and did that for 3 days in a row. But that's life of a tractor puller sometimes. So that was the early days. They try not to have quite that hectic a schedule anymore, but it does happen from time to time. You got to go from one side of the country to the other, it seems like. There's a trip that involves going from Hanford, New York, clear down to Lexington, Alabama in about 24 hours. That's a tough one. So Joe backing up to the sled right now, second ever time on the tractor. Last night they come out, was nose heavy a little bit, had it a little bit fat, got on the rev limiter a little bit. But they're looking to straighten things out tonight and a little bit better ride down the track area. He ended up winning the competition last night. So Joe is backed up. He's going to try just a little bit right of center out here in the competition tonight. He has the green light. Arthur Scott are ready. Joe Krakowski, the wild thing, out of door. What it actually was when it was factory stock new. And yes, this was a farm tractor at one time. This tractor, when it was brand new, was 105 horsepower. Okay, non-turbo. They didn't make a 986 with a turbocharger on it. Right now, on this 436 cubic inch block, now realize he's pushing over 500 cubic inches now. But with 4 chargers up underneath the hood and the cowling of that tractor, they are now making upwards of 2,500 horsepower out of that stock block motor, the 436 cubic inch block. Talked about it before, air, fuel, that's what creates horsepower. You start putting 4 chargers under it, you're moving a lot of air. Everything's working right, good things happen. As I said, Jerry wasn't able to make the competition down in Galax. His old buddy Max Simpson took the tractor and won it the first time out the gate with it this year. Smoker division on the Grand National level is going to be quite a competitive division, as well as the alcohol division of the Super Stocks this year. Got a great number of them, being built every day of the alcohol burners. So Jerry's looking for big things to happen. As I said, don't know for sure what happened last night, but it was not pretty for the fellow out of Charlotte, Michigan. Jerry's been pulling 22 years in the Superstock division, 45 years as a puller. The former dairy farmer by trade. Citizen Elevator LLC out of Charlotte, Potterville, and Vermontville. Custom applicators, farm crop suppliers, grain buyers. Bob Mansfield, a big part of this program. It's the Sid Simpson Performance, Max Simpson doing the wrenching work on the tractor out of Charlotte. Now Jerry will slowly start to build the RPMs. The water starts to inject in, smoke will change from white to gray to black. Slipper clutches will start to engage. The slipper clutches are engaging. 30.5 per minute for Jerry Van Dorpy. He's going to get it down the track, but he's going to be about 10 foot short, it looks like. Number 6 plunger was not doing a thing, he said. They got her boxed up and sent her back to Hypermax today, and he's got a borrowed pump on it right now. So he, too, is kind of trying to sort things out here tonight. Jim, a farmer by trade, they milk about 250 head of cows, farm about 1,200 acres of cash crop ground. Bill Shandor Builders and Van Manen Oil Company helping him out this year. So this young man also kind of on pins and needles right now. Not been a kind start at all this year. The head was a minor detail compared to that $10,000 pump that they talked about. But that's part of sport of pulling. It happens from time to time. I saw Jerry Van Dorpy a few years ago go through about 6 or 8 of those. Just like you and I would drink water for a while. So, Jim Shandor, the Radical Red, built the heat. As he gets under the chargers there, not a big problem. Okay, obviously it's smoke, so it's different than the alcohol burners. But there are also 2 other major differences in this tractor compared to the rest of the tractor. One is visual, one is not. See if you can tell. Jeff Rapp, the one fat apple out of Romeo, coming up next. Scott Shaner drove the tractor last night, had a very respectable run. As a matter of fact, got into a pull-off situation last evening. Ended up finishing second, but a nice run for Scott last evening on this tractor out of Romeo of Jeff Rapp. Jeff, a concrete contractor by trade. Probably very busy this time of year, and his wife Lisa. Very active in the sport of tractor pulling. Raps Orchard sponsor machine. Past national champion, past state champion. The one bad apple from down the road in Romeo of Jeff Rapp. Okay, the visual part. Look at the size of the rear tires. That is 24.5 tires instead of 30.5. The non-visual part, underneath the hood and the cowling, there is only 1 turbocharger. Everybody else here in the competition has 2, 3, and 4 turbochargers on it tonight. This is what we call a pro stock tractor. Another division, but also very competitive when it jumps up into the super stock class. So Jeff Rapp, build the heat. Very large cubes here underneath this tractor. Whoa. Something going on there. Not a good sound over revving the motor like that when the wheels are not spinning. Not sure what happened down there. I don't imagine he is real sure, but this is the only way that you can test these high-powered pulling vehicles, and that's head them down the 300-foot track. That's a lot better. Well, got it right underneath the charger there. That is only a single turbocharged setup on that. And he's going to be Divers own an Agco Ellis dealership in Ann Arbor, Diverly Equipment, and Kendall, a big part of the pulling program. Scott started out at the tender age of 10 pulling lawnmowers and now has progressed into the super stock tractor, making better than 1,500 horsepower. Scott is ready. The chain is tight. Green flag is flying as he will start to build the smoke, as the water will start to inject in, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Turbochargers and the whole 9 yards. Scott Dively, the pumpkin's gone mad. he digs down, and because of their business, they're very involved in sand and gravel business. If you folks don't know them down there in Elmont, that they just don't get a chance to get away very often and go truck and tractor pulling like they'd like to. But he has the green flag flying. The green light is on the extended track, the floating finish line for Kenny Measle, the Fighting for Dollars. Well, I tell you what, he's right down there close right now. The angle that I've got is the exhaust-driven air compressor. These vehicles take the air off the exhaust side of the motor, force it to a series of impellers. You heard me say 1 on the Pro Stock, 2 on the Wild Thing, 3, 4. Depends on what tractor it is. Back into the engine on the intake side to be burnt, in this case, with alcohol. These 3 tractors in this class. Or diesel fuel, the smokers. We'll talk about that in a minute. The John Deere out of the Buckeye State of Ohio.